a Sunday night. But unfortunately, we got our first loss. But it wasn't really a really bad loss, and after all, it's just preseason. But basically, it was a pretty close game. No, it was never really like lopsided. Maybe like for the first quarter and the second quarter, the Clippers was just stomping, and then the Minnesota Timberwolves, which is the team that upgraded big time with some trades they just made. Like they just climbed up, and it was always a neck to neck. And obviously, unfortunately, they won. And it was like, man, like Brandon Boston Jr., that one last possession. Keep taking those, Brandon Boston Jr. Keep shooting it. Let it fly. Your time will come soon. Your time is technically already. You should be on the floor. You should be playing the minutes. But it's I guess it happens. I know you had some air balls. All good. We'll get into the depth of Brandon Boston Jr. real soon after I finish going player by player. Now let's start going player by player. So Minnesota, shout out to them. They got the W. Edwards, he looked pretty good. He was pretty firm when he was driving into the basket. Just got to get them smooth layups. Just showed his athleticism, all that. He's gonna be like the franchise player for sure. Carlton Towns, I'm not gonna lie to you, he was pretty off. But then in the second half, he stepped up. He was making his shots. He was making his threes, and unfortunately, that's how they eventually climbed up. Like the fun, the fun thing about Carlton Towns is, like, I don't really feel that he's really like a center, a big man. He's more like a shooting guard in a more in the 6'10" body. Like I don't know if I could really say it in a good way. I mean, yes, he could shoot and all that, but he's like pretty easy to stop if you put a guy like you don't even have to put a center on Karl Anthony Towns. You could just put a guy like Nicholas Batum or Kawhi Leonard or even Paul George. Like you could definitely like be able to defend Karl Anthony Towns. He's kind of like a shorter Kristaps Porzingis, if we're being honest, because he just really shoot threes. He doesn't really post up and everything. And I'll never forget that some Clippers fans, man, some people are just casuals. They just go all in just because the person is a big name and a star, and he just played for years, and they just think, oh, it's okay. Let's just trade our whole entire young core and our future for this guy, while they ignore a person. Let's just say a prospect who is just as good as the star, but they don't go after the prospect because he's not a quote unquote proven player. But it's just like this definitely is like a good example on why you shouldn't just throw all the eggs in a basket for like just because the person is an all-star or something like that. Like, but not trying to hate on Colin Towns. He's a really good dude, and obviously he's a star. But I mean, definitely, he would definitely have a lot of growing pains with the Clippers, judging how he doesn't really play the actual big man role. He's just like more of a spot up shooter. Kind of like, I don't know, but he did his thing, so great stuff by him. D'Angelo Russell, he was honestly decent. He was not like too bad, but he was not special. Like he was definitely hyped up a lot when he was like coming into the draft, but um, turned this out he's just more like a really good role player to a borderline fringe all star. I don't know if he made us all star. I think he did, but he he went 4 for 10, which is pretty decent. And and the Wolves, like I'm not gonna lie, they have a solid bench depth too. So that justifies them just trading like more than 3 first round picks because like for me, if I'm the general manager, I'm gonna be really stingy with trading first round picks. Um, but the time when you could just be less worried about trading a lot of picks to get like a proven superstar is when you already have a young core. And the perfect example are the Wolves and the Cavs. They have a lot of guys who are like in their mid 20s and like they're definitely not going to be out of the league within like 3 years or 4 years. So it's more on the justifiable side of the spectrum. Like I'll admit, like when the Clippers traded for Paul George, like let's be real, like yes, I'm glad we got Kawhi with him, but let's be real. If Kawhi didn't force it, like if Kawhi just joined us with Shea, there's no way in heck I would have traded Shea and all this amount of first round picks. I would have just tried to like trade like maybe 3 first round picks at the most, and it was pretty attainable in my opinion. But we mess with 213 over here. We mess with PG. We mess with Kawhi. But I'm just saying, like that was a really risky move. But like glad the Clippers was able to rebound from that. But that was just a long side note. But let's just finish it off. So Jaden McDaniels, shout out to him as well too. Like he's like their young core. Like he's their young player that I honestly think he's capable of being a solid, really, really great role player. Like even maybe like my bad by the way, throat's still dry as heck. But anyways, McDaniel's honestly like I could see him being at least like a one-time All-Star because he is like 6'10". He could dribble the ball pretty good. Defense is also pretty solid as well too. So definitely their future. And McLaughlin, I forgot his first name, but McLaughlin, like their backup point guard, I believe he's one of the more underrated guards in the league. Like he makes like pretty high IQ pass and he plays above average defense. So you know he adds the IQ in the locker room. Solid player. They also have Brian Forbes. He was killing it. He was literally 5 for 6 from the 3 point line, which was like just pure bread and butter, and that's what killed us in the second half. Like, man, dude was just hitting his shots. Another underrated player, Nas Reed. I messed with him in the draft. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like back in, I believe it was like 2020 NBA draft. Like pretty mobile, big. Um, he definitely got some open dunks. Just easy, like just a dunk or a putback. That definitely hurt us as well too. Let's see who else. But other than that, like other players, they weren't like too special. But those are the players who really did their thing on us. So now let's transfer to the Clipper side. So first, Kawhi. You know, Kawhi missed a decent amount of shots. He didn't make any threes. He had only 8 points. 4 for 8. You know, just get the shots off his hands. Just get in a rhythm. Just do his thing. Just condition himself. You can tell he wasn't going too light. It's all good. We all know what Kawhi's gonna do during the playoff run in 2023, and he's gonna go off. Same with Paul George. He was missing a lot of shots too. He was like missing a good amount of threes. He could have drove to the basket a little more, but it's it's all good. But his playmaking though is pretty tough. He got the most assists on the team, believe it or not, even more than John Wall. And he also got a good amount of steals as well too. Like, man. And plus that one play with PG and Wall, but unfortunately, the damn clear path just ruined a beautiful highlight play, but they don't want to see a great play. They don't want to see a great play. Like, but John Wall. the MVP of the night, 20 points. The ball movement was pretty good. He didn't miss some. He didn't miss some like layups a little bit, but all good. But then he definitely got them 20 points, and the ball movement is just beautiful. Like, the addition of Wall just definitely added a really just gorgeous ball movement. Like, our ball movement was already good last year, but Wall just made it better, and because obviously he's a true point guard, and also I believe John Wall athleticism, it's still like kind of there, like especially on the defensive end. Like he's he definitely brings a pretty good impact. Like John Wall is like he's like a Russell Westbrook minus all the problems. Like he does not shoot like the worst bricks in the world. He doesn't, make the most boneheaded plays. But of course he made some trigger happy plays, but not really boneheaded plays. But I just love the addition of John Wall. But it really sucked we lost Hartenstein because Hartenstein, that dude is balling with the New York Knicks. Like that dude is letting it fly. Like Hartenstein, like I don't know, like he's definitely a pretty good player. Like I feel like he's kind of like a new school version of Serge Ibaka because that's how Serge was. He was athletic, fairly switchable, and he could shoot. Like, but either way, man, Hartenstein, he deserves the bag. It is what it is. But now let's go with Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris, shout out to you. He got a lot quicker, and his defense just improved. And he even got a dunk. Like, had you seen Marcus Morris actually dunk before? Like, I don't see Morris dunking like that. He got that one little dunk, and his athleticism just between last year and this year, athleticism just like it climbed up like a mountain. The stocks went up. The stocks went up, and defense improved. Um, Shot selection is getting a bit better too. Of course, he would miss some shots, but this game he was just making it. He was just doing his thing, and the best part is his defense just improved because last year, like Morris gets blown by a decent amount of times. This year, Morris he stays in front of his guys when he's playing defense with them, which was pretty nice to see. Pretty nice to see. And hey, when trading times comes, when trading times arrives, man, we definitely could get like we're definitely going to easily like instead of getting a late first rounder, we could definitely get a mid first rounder, and who knows, we could find a gem with the first rounders. But either way, if whether we keep him or trade him, like it's still going to be a win-win for us. Like if we keep him, it's just going to be nice to see because he definitely helps us during a lot of the clutch moments. And now, considering that his defense got better, like now we could worry a lot less with Morris. And if we do trade him, assuming our front office is pretty smart, we definitely could get a really good value. But honestly, I believe our position is mostly filled out, so I don't believe we should be making a trade to quote unquote just upgrade. I believe when we do make a trade, it should be more of a chess move to attain future like draft picks for the two upcoming draft class, especially with the 23 and the 24 draft class, mainly 23. But if it's 24, I guess cool too, so you can use that as to trade up or whatever. But you know, pretty like either way, like Morris, just a really good improvement to see. And Zubac, another improvement as well. Like Zubac was never really like a bad player. Like ever. It's just he gets put in the wrong situation and he's just used improperly. He wasn't fed the ball as often as you would like him to be. But this year, Zubac just overall, like, his defense just improved. Like, he's he's a more of an all around defender now. He's not just like a type of guy who blocks shot. He's not just like an an interior defender. Now he's more switchable, especially when he gets switched on to D'Angelo Russell. Zubac was just there in front of him, resulting to D'Lo making tough shots. Well, how to shoot a tough shot and it'll result into a miss. And his playmaking like improved as well too. Um, I feel that like Zubac, it'll be cool if he gets the green light to expand his range, but he's also pretty good as well as being a big man. Just feed Zubac the ball, man. Just honestly, if I still think we should be feeding Zubac more of the ball. Like he only got 6 attempts. Let's try to get him to take 10 attempts because if he takes like 10 attempts, is you can't go wrong with Zubac just taking 10 attempts because that man usually makes most of his shots. Like Zubac is just a really good serviceable big, and honestly, like I don't think we should put Zubac in really any of the trade talks if I'm being honest with you because like if you do, you're not going to get us much of the value that you would want in return, and basically like he's just a really serviceable big. Like he sets up really good screens and he could punish people down low. Like, and now considering he's just more switchable, like when Zubac actually gets in front of you, like when he gets in front of the actual like players, like I would rarely see like Zubac get scored on as often, like just this preseason. Like that's also big improvements there as well too. Like Zubac and Morris both improved. Like and also Coffee too. Three of them improved in my opinion. But Coffee was pretty quiet this game. But like you know like Zubac, shout to you again. And I believe I covered the starting lineup essentially. So now let's get to the bench. Reggie Jackson. Despite Reggie Jackson being a bench player, he still did not lose any of the sight of being Action Jackson. He was still letting up threes. His playmaking was actually there tonight, and he definitely got better getting Zubac involved in like getting some good looks and he was just making shots in general and he was showing he's still tough to guard. He was still cook the living shit out of you if you try to guard him. And Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, just nothing love for Mr. June. Nothing but love for Reggie Vision. Luke Kennard, splashing threes as usual, doing his thing. We have so many shooting guards, so some of the guys that should be playing, they're not playing. But Luke Kennard definitely getting some threes and all that. Playmaking is also there as well too. Let's see. Let's see who else could we go. Norman Powell, he didn't play tonight. Sucks he got a little rib issue, but like it was a really minor one though, so that's good. But definitely, like, just don't rush the injury. Just let him get the rest. Let him get the rest. And Terrence, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. The first half and the third quarter, he was pretty quiet. But then fourth quarter, he stepped it up, made some timely threes. Just like nothing too special, but sometimes he gets pretty quiet. I'm not gonna. He has like a quiet game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Amir Coffey, he didn't make any shots. He was pretty quiet in this game. Brandon Boston Jr., my man, Brandon Boston Jr. That one shot, that was so beautiful. That one shot, if that shot just went in, that clutch game-winning shots, I would have been so happy. I would have just been blushing left and right. I would have been spazzing on all the people who wanted to put Brandon Boston Jr. in trade talks for some average good role players like Miles Turner or any BS trade. I would have been spazzing. But but you know, so your time will come real soon. Your time will come real soon. He did have two air balls, but it's just part of the process. It's all good. It's preseason. Get your rhythm off. Get your rhythm going. Um, like even the best of the best air balls, even Kobe Bean Bryant, one of the all-time greats, four air balls in a row. So let's not give Brandon Boston Jr. any slander. And I know my audience would not because we mess with Brandon Elliott Boston Jr. right over here. But you know, just let it fly, man. Let it fly. And now let's go with Musa Diabate. Actually, yeah. Let's talk about some other players. Rocco and Nick Batum. Um, they they weren't like, you know, they were just them. They were just playing solid defense. Um, Rocco, at least he was making timely shots. Batum, he's just doing his job, getting rebounds. Dang, my throat's drying up. My fault, y'all. But anyways, both of them, they weren't like they didn't stand out like compared to the other games, but you know, we still mess with them over here. They did not do bad, but they didn't really stand out. But if I'm being honest with you, I would consider playing Musa Diabate over both of them some of the games just because they're up in age, and when you're up in age, you're more when you get hurt, recovery time would take a little longer. So I would either play Musa Diabate like over like over them, or at least when we play small ball, I would definitely play Diabate because Musa, man, Musa should be playing minutes in the regular season. Like honestly, instead of going small ball, we should be playing Musa Diabate in the quote unquote small ball lineup. It should be either Diabate and Batum or Diabate and Rocco. Like just either way, just switch it out. But whatever you do, just play Musa Diabate. Honestly, Musa Diabate is much better than just trying to acquire a backup big in the trade deadline or anything like that. Because like honestly, like if I'm keeping 100 with you, like I don't really care what you say. You disagree with me all you want, but Musa Diabate would fit this team a lot better than Miles Turner because Miles Turner, like, yeah, he can shoot. That's just like the luxury on why Clippers fans are willing to overinvest in Miles Turner. I'll admit I was the victim last year of being willing to just overinvest in him, but now considering we got Musa Diabate, I would much rather like have playing him more of the minutes because one, he's just a lot more switchable than a lot of the bigs in the market, and even more switchable than Batum and even dare I say Robert Covington. Two, while Musa Diabate is very switchable, he can also guard down low as well too. Like next game, I just want to see Musa Diabate guard Nikola Jokic and I want to see Tyronn Lue get out his comfort zone and just randomly assign Musa Diabate to guard one of the more premier bigs like Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns, and Nikola Jokic, because Musa is like a German Shepherd off the leash, just chasing a trespasser. Like, that dude will just hunt you down. He's a menace. And that guy got 2 blocks in 8 minutes. Just play him the minutes, man. Just play him the minutes. Just please. Please, please, please. Tyronn Lue. Just get out of your comfort zone. Play two of these players. Brandon Boston Jr. and Musa Diabate. And also, you can try to get Coffee involved too, but man, like, at least for Brandon Boston Jr., I guess you can like play this narrative. Oh, there's so many shooting guards right in front of them and all that, but Musa Diabate, there shouldn't be really any excuse on why you should not play Musa Diabate or why you think you should just find a more proven asset to play over Diabate, because Diabate just does not have a legit major flaw. Like, yeah, he doesn't shoot threes or anything, but that dude is a damn juggernaut on defense. And offense, like, he's also pretty darn good too. Like, for a guy who is pretty like lanky and skinny, he sets some really good screens, and he would get in a basket right in time, and he would get a dunk, like a monstrous dunk that would bring some really good energy. But let me know what you think overall in this game, or anything what I send in the video. Like, you know, just let me know down in the comments, and just let me know what you think that the Clippers could do better in next game, or what, or like, are the Clippers just looking good? Should the Clippers just make a rotation change or anything like that, or just simply voice your opinion down below, and I'll definitely discuss with y'all in the comment section. And as y'all know, have a great night, and Monday's about to come tomorrow, so unfortunately, a day that none of y'all would really like, but it's all good. Just have a great night, and as y'all know, peace.